Why does everybody overrate Pau Gasol? I've been seeing a lot of these fans talk about how great Pau Gasol was. Pau Gasol was not that good. I think because he was white, well, he's not white, he's Spanish, but because he's white and everyone gives him credit because he played for Kobe and people's hate for Kobe is basically known. So they try to overglorify Pau Gasol by talking about these numbers. He had a game of 20 some, 15, and it's like, okay, but where was that in the first championship when they played the Celtics? KG was bodying him up. Kendrick Perkins was bodying him up. When he was in Memphis, he used to get bodied up. Like he was okay, but he wasn't no superstar. He was an all-star, but he wasn't no superstar. He wasn't putting up no outrageous numbers. Like he wasn't doing what his brother Mark was doing. Now, if you want to talk about Mark Gasol, that dude. Mark Gasol was a beast. I saw him being great when he played for Spain in Olympics. But Pau Gasol is very overrated. And I don't know why everyone is trying to hype him up. Like there's summers trying to say he carried Kobe and Shaq carried Kobe. If Shaq carried Kobe, then why Shaq couldn't carry D Wade in Miami? Why he couldn't carry Penny Hardaway? And why did the Magic ultimately choose Penny over him if you're most dominant? Then everybody's want to talk about, oh, he was dominant. He was dominant when? Patrick Ewing and those guys got old. Hakeem Olajuwon buried him. Barkley used to dominate him, especially when Barkley was with the Suns. He used to kill Shaq. But Shaq was still a kid at that time. He was a rookie in 93. Shaq was a great player. He was a center who was the only person in the league. But I tell people this all the time. If you're the only center in the league, you should be averaging 50 or 60 points. Wilt Chamberlain was averaging quadruple doubles plus damn near 70 points or 100 or 50s and 60s. He was averaging that. He was averaging like 38 or 40 points for a career, maybe 50. So if Shaq was so dominant, why wasn't he putting up numbers like that? Pau Gasol wasn't putting up numbers like that. The reason that Laker team was good is because Kobe mentally got those guys prepared. He worked with those guys. He worked with those guys. He was trying to get them better. Now, did he request a trade before? No, he didn't request a trade. Kobe was just talking, saying that, well, if they don't get anybody, if they don't get the right talent around me, then I might request for a trade. And everybody was like, man, no, people gonna come on here blasting me, going off on me. I don't care because I watched it and I looked at this stuff and I know the whole story. But Pau Gasol, why is he getting overglorified and overrated? He's the most overrated guy in history. He never was a superstar. He was a star. He was a star player. He wasn't a superstar. He was never on that level. To me, I don't even think he was better than Kevin Love. Kevin Love was way better than him before he got with LeBron and what's the other guy named? Chris Bosh. Chris Bosh was way better than him. Chris Bosh used to torch Pau Gasol. Chris Webber, all them guys used to give Pau Gasol the business. Stephen A. Smith and those guys used to call him Pau Gasoft. He earned the name Gasol because he was so bad in the NBA Finals. Kobe was doing everything he could to carry those guys, but the rest of the team was trash. Odom came off the bench, did a little something, but they couldn't counteract that Celtics team with Tony Allen, all of those guys, Ray Allen, Rondo. You had Avery Bradley, I believe, coming off the bench, but I think that was too soon. I know you had James Posey. They had a team, but I'm gonna go look that roster up because that Celtics team was deadly. They had Big Baby Davis coming off the bench, banging in the post. So I get tired of that notion that Pau Gasol did something. Pau Gasol had some games now. I'm not going to lie. He had some games where he put up some numbers and he did some good things. But overall, Pau Gasol he's not even a top 10 power forward, not even top 15. So how are you guys saying he carried Kobe? And how are you trying to say this guy was so great? I have a guy arguing with me in a group named something Reindeer. I call him Reindeer because he's always lost with a red nose like Rudolph. So you're telling me that Pau Gasol was very great. Then why didn't Pau Gasol, after he left Kobe, what has he done? Like, what team has he carried? What team has he put on his back and said, yo, I'm finna do this? Memphis had a decent team at the time. I think they had Randolph and a couple other guys. And the Lakers, the Memphis Grizzlies, he was so great. They traded him and traded him for his brother, Marc Gasol. So if you're so great, you're a top player, why were you so easily expendable? That's what I don't understand. It's not the same as Kevin Garnett. Garnett was old. He was past his prime. He wanted to win a ring at that point. So the Celtics made that deal happen, bringing him and Ray Allen in. Ray Allen was brought in because he was done at that point. He was past his prime, so he had to play a role. So for all this notion to tell me that Pau Gasol was this great, man, Pau Gasol was good. He was okay, but he was a scrub, dog. He was a scrub. If he wasn't white or from Europe or Spanish or whatever, because I think Spanish people are just white people who just speak another language. So, and that's not me trying to be racist or prejudiced. Don't get mad about that. But Pau Gasol was not that great, man. He wasn't. And I watched him. Pau Gasol, a lot of nights, disappeared. Kobe had to literally light a fire under his butt every game. And I know because I watched it. But I don't want to make this video downing Pau Gasol because I actually like Pau Gasol. Pau was straight for what he did. He was a good offensive player, average rebounder, horrible defender. And that's who he was. He could pass too. Pau was one of the best passing big men out the post. He was great at doing that, but his game was very finesse. But he was a good player. Is he a top 50 player? No. Is he a top? I don't even think he's a top 80 or 100 player. Seriously, I don't think Pau Gasol was that good. I don't see why everyone says it. Was he better than Dirk? Was he better than Chris Webber? Was he better than Rasheed Wallace? Was he better than Kevin Garnett? I mean, was he better than Amari Stoudemire? Amari Stoudemire was way better than him. You know, we could keep going. Like, who was he better than Sean Kemp? Was he better than Moses Malone, Charles Barkley, Tim Duncan? Like, come on, man. I don't even think he was better as his brother. He wasn't better than Mark. They had to bring Bynum in to help him because he was getting killed on the boards. He couldn't defend. Bynum wasn't no better, but Bynum was a little okay. Bynum was decent for what he could do, but you guys are overglorifying Bynum. Like, you guys are delusional basketball fans. Bynum sucked. Pau Gasol was decent. Lamar Odom was okay. He was a good player, not a great one where it was like, oh my gosh, I would take 100 other players over Lamar Odom and Pau Gasol and Bynum. And Who else they had? Derek Fisher. You guys try to say Derek Fisher. I'm like, dude, Derek Fisher was only good for banging players' wives. And he hit some big shots, but he hit those shots because nobody was worried about him. It's like Robert Horry. You guys give Robert Horry all this credit. Nobody was guarding them. Who was thinking about them? Are you going to guard Shaq or are you going to guard Robert Horry? Think about it. I'm finna go guard Shaq. I don't care about no damn Robert Horry. I don't care about no Pau Gasol. Like, you serious? If Pau Gasol was so great, why they weren't double teaming him? They never double teamed Pau like that. It was only against the weaker teams where they double teamed him because the weaker teams didn't have a guy that good or talented. So kill this notion about Pau Gasol is this great. I don't even feel he's a Hall of Famer. I just don't think he is. He's not that good. I would take Mark over him any day. Mark is way better than he was. Way better. Even in Mark's advanced age, he's not putting up the numbers he would. Mark defensively, passing all around game is killing Pau. Now offensively, Pau was way better. But it's funny how these white guys can sit on the bench, but a black guy like Melo, it took him a long time to be on the team, but Pau Gasol's on the team. Dirk Nowitzki got to play his last years and he was crap, but Carmelo finally got a team, which is very mind-boggling to me. And Carmelo's way better than Pau Gasol, even at his advanced age. Gotta wipe this cold out my eye. I look messed up. I just woke up. I just had to do this because this guy keeps on praising Pau Gasol like he was the greatest in the world. Like, I'm like, dude, stop looking at stats. This isn't school. School was nothing but a bunch of empty stats. The stats you guys look up, they don't tell the whole story. Like, for instance, you guys talk about the Pacers series. Shaq had averaged this. Kobe only averaged 15. Yeah, because Kobe got hurt. Jalen Rose cheap shotted him by putting his foot down when he landed and hurting his ankle. Kobe came back that game and they won, but the next game he sat out. Shaq and them got their ass whooped. I remember that game because Reggie Miller was dogging them. He was dogging them. Rick Smits was dogging him. All them cats was dogging him. And you supposed to be Shaq. But y'all overglorify him. You guys just hate Kobe, man. And it's just sad that you have to elevate. You guys elevate Kobe's teammates to make him look bad. But you guys downgrade LeBron's teammates to make him look good. That's an oxymoron. Have y'all noticed that? That LeBron fans and Jordan fans downgrade the teammates they had to make them look even better. But Kobe, they elevate his teammates to make them look real great, but make him look bad. It's like, it's the most retarded thing I ever heard or seen in my life. When I watch these guys play, Pau Gasol was a role player. He was another Scottie Pippen. They played their role good, but if you give them the team to run by themselves, if they don't have a closer or somebody there to have their back, they're going to fold. They're going to fold. And it's just the truth. Now, so that's all I'm saying. I don't want to keep going on with this because people probably going to turn this off after a while. Be like, this guy here is just ranting. Yeah, I'm ranting. I'm sick and tired of you guys overrating Pau Gasol. Like, Pau Gasol was trash, dog. He was not all that. I would take Kevin Love, Chris Bosh. I would take Anthony Davis. I'd take a lot of guys over Pau Gasol. Pau Gasol was not all that. And I don't care what numbers you nerds put on. I don't care if he averaged 22, 15, and 3. I watched the game. He was not that impressive. He wasn't. He was an okay player. He was an okay player. He played his role. He was a good star player. I give you that. He was a star, but we've had a lot of stars over the years. Glenn Rice was a star. Sean Kemp was a star. Like, I would take them over Pau Gasol. I would take Sean Elliott over Pau Gasol. I would take Manu Ginobili, Tony Parker. It is so many people. I would take Udonis Haslem over Pau Gasol. I'm serious. I would take a lot of people. Alonzo Mourning was better. So stop over glorifying and overrating a damn Pau Gasol.